Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for the week of January 6th. So, Virgo, the image that the guides gave me as I was preparing all of the cards, it was a picture of you with a whole wall of little boxes, and each one had a key, and beautifully aligned, clean, clear, silver boxes. And almost like a stainless steel. And then you closing your boxes and locking them up, a whole wall of them. And then you closed two big metal doors, two big steel doors, and you locked the doors. And then you stood in front of it like this. And you had a smile on your face, but it wasn't really a happy smile. It was more of like, there, it's done. And this feeling with it is that these are all the parts of you that you've locked away. As I look at the boxes, it's like they're categories, but they're not all lumped together because it's very fragmented in terms of how it's all put together. But what I will say is there are some boxes that are regrets. There are some boxes that are grudges. There are some boxes that are hopes not fulfilled. There are some boxes that are wishes fulfilled, or if not wishes fulfilled, then positive memories or things to be proud of. But those ones are much fewer than the ones where we've got the betrayals, the grudges, all of that. So as I'm pulling the cards, I'm looking at this and I'm going, again, please keep in mind as I'm saying these things that the way my guides work is they look at what is an underlying energy that might be holding you back from greater consciousness, greater personal consciousness, leading to greater fulfillment and happiness. That's the point of all of these readings, is where are you perhaps stuck that you're not seeing, or maybe you do see it, but you're not quite sure how to move out of it. So dealing with it from an energetic perspective can be really, really helpful because it can be concrete steps that you can take. And this is what I feel you're being offered. What it looks to me like is that there really is an energy of not forgiving, some kind of betrayal that goes back a long way. And I might say to childhood, it could very well be that far back because it feels pretty foundational to how it's created your character and your need for self-protection. The energy that is the thing that is holding you back the most is your inability to forgive. And you might say to yourself, yeah, I forgive. They did the best they could. Or even, yeah, I did the best I could. I was a kid. I didn't know any better. Or I couldn't have helped any more than I did. But that's a cognitive. That's just your brain saying it. If you haven't embraced the nature of what your innocence is the true nature of innocence, of you and anybody else who was involved, then you haven't really genuinely forgiven. It's been a deal you've made within your mind that you're going to say it's okay so that you can get on. But the truth is that energy of not forgiving, whatever the emotion is connected to, whether it's blame, whether it's hatred, whether or not it's guilt, it's still lingering in us. When it's lingering in us, what it's doing is it's holding us down. And if we're suppressing the feeling of that emotion because it's so painful, then we're using a lot of energy that we could be using for the positive that's not available to us. And also, when we shut down those negative emotions, we tend to shut down or numb a lot of emotions. And thirdly, when we are shutting down emotions that are that painful, there tends to be a lot of fear associated with them. So what you're being told here is, if you want to start changing now, if it's your time to start applying techniques to change, one of the ways that you can do it is to step back and say, all right, This is like a 3-step program I'm being given here, okay? So the first step is to step back and say, okay, what am I not forgiving myself for? Is there something I'm not forgiving somebody else for? And it might just be character trait, okay? Then you say, okay, if I'd had an ideal childhood, whether or not this is linked to a childhood experience, we want you to go back to, if I'd had a perfect childhood, an ideal childhood, how would I be different today? Because remember, childhood energy, even if it's not linked concretely to an event that was traumatic, there can be energy that we've carried from childhood that is going to futuristically cause us to be in relationships that are not necessarily good for us, that can bring about these experiences, which can then lead to betrayal, non-forgiving, all of that stuff. But for now, go back to, if I'd had an ideal childhood, what 3 character traits would I have that I don't have now that would be positive? And how would that change my life? And how I deal with being able to really be open up, let go, not have to keep everything segmented and boxed away and labeled, okay? What would they be? And how would I be different? How would I be experiencing life differently? And you can use that as a kind of reflection. If you want to journal about it, that would be brilliant. You can use that as a reflection to, how would I have experienced that relationship differently? How would I have potentially dealt with this? How would I be looking at life now? If in this moment I had those qualities, those characteristics, how would I be looking at my future now? How might I choose differently? And would it give me the power to choose differently? How would my mind be functioning? So you can journal with that. You can look at it. You can ask guidance on that, because you're being told here you've got angels everywhere, okay? You've got grace. You've got the ability to really ask for help. You've had grace before, okay? And you can look at it and you can say, okay, am I doing what I want to do? If I don't, why aren't I? Who says that I can't do it differently? And chances are it's you. There may be a face behind that. There may be a literal message from someone, but it's very possible that it's just something you have told yourself that you can't because of another experience. And you can actually use that as a landing point and kind of work backwards. Now, the other thing, you've got grace, you've got angels everywhere. And the forgiveness card, secondarily, what is forgiveness? Forgiveness can be the kind of thing, really, if you want to let go, it's, let's take this up a notch. Let's not just look at this as a psychological situation. Let's look at this as, okay, if I'm doing this spiritual work, then what are we here for? We're here to learn and grow. We don't learn and grow just by having everything be easy. We are going to bump into the situations that are going to show us where our spirit is not fully living, where we are not fully embracing the power and the essential nature of who we are. So if you can look at these experiences and the people who brought them to you as part of the learning, part of the tool, something to be grateful for, something to appreciate instead of blame for, that can shift the energy just enough that you can start letting go of whatever grudge, whatever sense of betrayal, either in them or in you. Because remember, you're also here. We're all teaching. We're all learning. And we all have the capacity to take any situation, whether it's now or from the past, and learn from it so that we can grow. And why do we want to grow? Well, because the more we grow, the more we're living in our essential nature of innocence and joy. And the more control we have, there we go, dreaming. How do you want to dream? Who says why not? Dreaming is an act of creation. Our most life-enhancing dreams are our highest minds or spirits speaking to us about potential and fulfillment for the kinds of life that our personalities and egos have limited. So dream big, dream in technicolor, dream rich and full and affluent in all things. Virgo, what dreams are being held back? Because sometimes it's realizing those dreams are still very much alive. They are being given to us. Our heartfelt dreams, that's our spirit talking to us. And it's telling us, it's showing us, why are you not living this dream? That's where you need to go. That's where your growth is. Because if this is like the motivator for you to be able to let go of those old energies and those old stories that become so familiar to us that we just keep repeating them. And you don't need to. You know, you've got a lot of really, really rich boxes. You've got a lot of very beautiful boxes. But the thing is, just imagine all the boxes that you've got there. If it were just one big vault and it was full of just beautiful stuff, instead of everything being parceled away, where you have to go to this box and then that box and then that box. Oh my God, that could drive a person crazy. All that segmenting of yourself and of your emotions and your experiences. You don't need to do that. Okay? Look at this. This is a great opportunity for you. And there may not be any experience actually happening this week to bring this up, but if you want to look at it this week, it's a good week to do it. It's a good week to reflect. And I need this deck for that. So listen, if it's heavy duty, if there really is big trauma, I think my view is always get the help that you need, get the support that you need. If it's too scary to unlock all of the boxes, try to look at things with new eyes. Look at things with new eyes. It's time to look at the story from a different angle. Back to, if it's too much for you, if it is related to a very big trauma, you don't need to open all the boxes all at once. You can open the big doors and let yourself look at the labels on the boxes and just check those out. From a really practical point of view, if it's heavy duty stuff, get the support that you need to be able to look at it. Maybe this is the week where you seek out a practitioner to help you, a clinician, a therapist, a counselor of some kind. Maybe this is the week. But what I'm being given here for you is, this is a really great opportunity for you to expand into the better places of yourself. And when I say better, the happier, the healthier, the more balanced, that rich you that is there. Okay? So if it's not dealing with it directly, it might be considering who you can work with. And it might be just taking this reading on board and seeing what shows up in the next little while. This might be just the stimulating thing to get things working so that you are prepared to do it in a little while. I leave you with that, but I'm leaving you with angels everywhere, grace and forgiveness. Okay? Forgiveness of everybody else, forgiveness of you. We're all here to learn and grow. Okay? Bless you, Virgos. Take care. Likes, shares, subscribes, comments, all very appreciated. And whether you do or you don't, I will be back next week. Thanks for stopping by. And I guess I'll see you again, maybe. Bye.